All right. Let's do this. I need to drop this link. Yeah, it's private. Wait, does that do that? Edit. Public now. All right, just give me a few minutes, guys. I just want to drop this link for everybody else in the Cashverse group so they can see it. All right, now for my camera to do what it's supposed to be doing. All right, guys, welcome back to another Crypto Gaming Boy. Today we're just doing something a bit different. We want to deep dive into the minds behind the 88 Cash, Soul Cash, and the whole LLC Cashverse. So let's no further ado and not wait too long on this, guys. We're just going to welcome Daniel, aka Hydra, and also Juice as well, or Zach Horn.
Welcome.
So, guys, appreciate each of you guys just doing this for me. This is a bit different. It's not going to be aimed at 88 Cash or the Cashverse at all. And I really appreciate each one of you. How are you guys doing?
I'll go. All right. I'm doing good. I'm doing really well. I just didn't want us to both talk at the same time. But yeah, I'm doing really well, man. I can't complain. So thank you for having us on here. I appreciate it.
You're
Yeah, I'm
most
fine
welcome.
too. A lot of work all the time, but I'm feeling good. I'm happy, so yeah, all fine.
That's good. That's good, guys. So, just want to get the topic of discussion. First would be for Hydra, because I know you got a lot of stuff doing with your coding over there. I don't want to hold you up too long. So again, if you ever need to excuse yourself for whatever reason, please do so. That's not a problem on
Yeah.
my part. So I want to know when, what time period in your life did you know about the movement behind cryptocurrency, i.e., the Bitcoin, and when did you take it to a level, I guess, of seriousness? For example, myself, I knew about it from 2008 when I was still in high school, or just about come out of high school, and I didn't think it was serious. I thought it was like funny money, some foolishness or whatnot. So I passed it on by a couple of years later. A couple of my friends, got big rich off this thing, and some, kicked themselves because they lost their earnings from when it was just like a USB drive that they were holding it on. So I want to know, for your experience, and when did you knew about it, and when did you took it to a level of, what, hey, this is where I can make some income for just away from the whole centralized banking system.
Uh, I always was like very nerdy guy, just interested in all the kind of stuff of developing, hacking, whatever. And I had a magazine. Um, it was, yeah, I think 2000, really 2009. It was before the launch of Bitcoin. And I
Mm,
read about this idea of Bitcoin. And then a year later, again, I read about it and I saw what you can. actually mining it yourself, and you can get some money out of it. So let's try. So I started to mine Bitcoin on my, yeah, very not very good laptop. And but I made some Bitcoin. So but then, yeah, 2 years later, whatever, Bitcoin was, I don't know, at some cents, if even. I thought, yeah, who needs this? What was a cool idea, but who needs this? And I just throw away everything. Yeah. Then I saw it rising and rising, and I thought, damn, you never get this opportunity again. But then
Uh-huh.
Ethereum came, and my best buddy at the time told me I have to invest in it. It will be like Bitcoin. Yeah, okay, I will invest. I invested in a very good amount of Ethereum, and then there was this at the beginning. I think Ethereum was at $11. There was this train hack, and a person stole tons of Ethereum. But the chart went down to like $3 or $2 even. And I thought,
Ooh.
okay, this coin is dead because once it's hacked,
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
invest in it anymore. Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah.
true. That's
But we
true.
see,
I think that's the majority of everyone right now. If that happened,
yeah.
dang.
So
That's,
so I sold all my Ethereum, of course. Now we see where we are today. And since this moment, I'm never selling
yeah.
anything anymore. And that's where I know you make money with crypto. It doesn't matter what happened. You make money with crypto.
That's true. That's true. Thank you for that, Hydra. Zach, if you have, I don't know if you could top that, but if you have any, with your experience, I want you to express it. Or when you heard about it, and how you got into it and took it to a level of seriousness where you'd be like, hey, this is my opportunity to make money, take back control of this whole foolishness of the banking system, and just become your own decentralized human.
Yeah, no, I can't top that because I didn't mine or anything. But so back in I believe I was still in high school when I first read about Bitcoin being able to be used on Facebook with Farmville. I
Mm,
remember, if you remember Farmville on
mm-hmm.
Facebook, everybody's parents, grandparents were playing Farmville. And I remember seeing something where you can use Bitcoin on Farmville to make purchases. I thought, again, it was probably one of those prepaid services, right? You pay for it on a card or something, you scratch it off, you apply it to your account, you can use it. So I didn't read much into it, but
Mm-hmm.
that was the very first time I've heard about Bitcoin. Was way back then. When I actually started getting into crypto, it wasn't until about a little over 7 years now, when I was working at my one previous job, and I was an IT tech, and I've always hated working for the man. I've always wanted to be my own boss. So I stumbled upon an article um, where it actually started talking about not Bitcoin, but XRP, Ripple at the
Mm,
time. And they started talking about it, bringing out, they started talking about Coinbase, they started talking about XRP and Ripple. And so that's what kind of caught my eye. And I actually invested in Ethereum. I bought some XRP, but at the time Coinbase wasn't out, right? So you had to use Binance, and Binance at the time
mhm,
was legal in the United States to use without VPN. So I was able to make my purchases through Binance. And I had XRP, I had Cardano, I also had some Ethereum, and that was when I first started getting into cryptocurrency. I started researching it more, and I realized that especially Cardano and all of it, but XRP and Cardano, I definitely seen that because one, it was cheaper than Ethereum at the time, and I was reading up on it and seeing that it had such a good building block and background of what the purpose was for Cardano and XRP. That's what made me really want to invest a lot more into it. So then I
mhm.
invested more money into it, and then when we seen the super climb on 2017, I think it was January 1st, when everything pumped, Bitcoin hit over
Yeah.
$20,000. Everything skyrocketed. I was like, oh man, look all this money I'm making. A couple hours later, it tanked, and I was like, "Oh, look at all this money I didn't make." So I did come out. I did sell some. I did make a little bit of a profit, but again, I held majority of it, and then I just kept it, accumulating. Over the years, I just kept buying more, buying more, buying more, and I kept telling people, you need to get into cryptocurrency because it's going to be the future. Like, if I would have held what I had in XRP and Cardano at the time, with the current prices, what it was, the $3,
Mm-hmm.
man, I would have been set for a good while. All right. But
True,
you know,
true, true.
we didn't know because it held that, couple cents standpoint for a couple years. Right. So it didn't really go up to where it was now. So basically that's like the big background of mine. It doesn't top Hydras. Okay. It doesn't top that. But I did get into it many years ago too, as well. And then I just, I did more research over the years, and here I am. So,
Nice, appreciate that.
mhm.
Hydra, how your experience, how do you think that has impacted you on the way you live your life then than the way you live your life now compared to crypto? I know you're heavy in the coding, but I want you to describe your lifestyle from how you used to be before you got into crypto to now.
That's a tough question. It's like, I mean, I was a kid once I started with the whole crypto stuff, because, as I
Hmm.
said, I heard about it since before day one. So for me, uh, nothing really changed till, like, I don't know, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, once I decided to really go more deep into the topic for or on the first days of Web 3, if the internet
Hmm.
began to.
Sorry, Hydra, I think you went out there for a second with your mic.
Mhm. Yeah, his
Yeah,
network cuts out. Yep. He'll be back.
Am I back? Yeah, I'm
Yep.
back.
yeah, you're back now.
So yeah, so
You were at Web3.
okay, but yeah, exactly. That's was the moment where I thought that I'm a coder, and for sure there's a way
That internet, man.
Gone again. Gone again.
Yeah. Let's see.
Went out again. Sorry about that, Hydra.
it's
I
insane.
tell you, every time I do a stream, it's like they don't want to see me succeed, man.
Ah. Okay, again. So yes, I started really getting it once this Web 3 started, and I knew now is the time where I, as a coder,
Hmm.
can take a big opportunity about all this future life changing stuff which will happen in 5 years or whatever. It's just, we're still early everywhere with all this crypto stuff, and I'm
Hmm.
starting already now, or I started already some years ago, and for sure within the next years, there my lifestyle will be changed, because I will be a big expert on all this crypto blockchain developing stuff, and so on. So yeah, that's perhaps my the style of my coding changed from normal coding to blockchain coding, which is definitely a
Hmm.
bit else than before.
Would you say the change of coding is more difficult on the blockchain side compared to the coding you used to do?
No, I wouldn't say that it's more complicated than normal coding. It's still the same coding, to be honest, but it's a new
Mm-hmm.
technique. You have to learn how to be able to connect to the blockchain to get data out, get data in. All the stuff about the gas fees you have to know. Some uh, stuff doesn't need gas fees. Other stuff needs gas fees. What's the difference? All the stuff you have to learn. It's new, but everything else it's quite the same. If you are a coder, you definitely can go to blockchain coding. You don't have to be scared. That's for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm. All right, that's nice. Appreciate that insight. Juice, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna ask you the same question there. It, your life back then, and how you live it now, obviously it's significantly different. You got a new Audi, but
Yeah.
congrats.
Thank
I
you.
want to know how you viewed it from where you were to where you are currently today with your crypto space.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say crypto changed my life when I first invested into it.
Mm,
Um, same with Hydra. We were all young, right? And again, crypto didn't really start to take off until pretty much the meme craze, right? That's when a lot more people got
mhm,
invested into it. And we started to see these prices really stabilize at the highs that they are now. So, I can't say that it changed my life back then. However,
mhm,
recently, I've been very fortunate. I'm very, very grateful that I got in early enough into this project um, to not necessarily just as an investor myself, but being able to show Hydra at the time that I was able to bring my experience, my knowledge, and apply it to the project to help it grow, to help build a community, willingness to dox myself and show everyone this is who I am, be real with everyone, and, you know, help bring the project to where it is now, and um, I'm very fortunate that Hydra gave me the opportunity to work and make this my job full time. So up until this point, I can't say crypto really changed my life. However, I did get lucky as an early
mm,
investor. I put
mm,
a lot of money into the project because one, I believed and I knew what I was wanting to invest in. I wanted to invest in something where I can make money by investing into it and not have to touch it,
mhm,
and I hated even though I had a really good job, I did have a good job, 9 to 5. I was a security analyst, going to be promoted to a security engineer, but I don't like working for someone. And I also don't like working a set 9 to 5 job and barely making it by.
mm.
And you put in more work at a lot of your jobs that you do nowadays,
True.
and you don't get the same return, right? You put in more work, you get less in return. And I seeing being able to invest into a project where you can put money into it, and you may not make thousands of dollars every single day, but you put that money in and you just let it go. You don't worry about it, and
Mhm,
say a year from now, every week, say you accumulate $500. Well, that's $500 that you didn't have before, and you're literally doing nothing else, but you're
yeah.
bringing that income in. And that's
Yeah.
why I invested as much as I did at the early time that I did, because that's what I was aiming for. And um, it just so happened it snowballed into being able to have this great opportunity to work with Hydra, work with the team, help build this great project that we're building here, and business, right? Because we have our LLC and everything. So we're turning it into a business. And, that's where it really changed my life. I've been able to pay off bills. I've been able to pay off quite a bit of my debt because of the passive income from this great project. So, up until this point, I can't say cryptocurrency has really changed my life. I knew there was benefits. I knew it could, but that's if I would have kept all the shares I had prior, right? I didn't have all the shares because I sold, and
Mhm.
how we all do. We sell, we buy in, we sell, we buy in. So up until this point, I can't say it changed my life, but now I'm very grateful and it has.
It's
So
good. I like the two different perspectives you guys have provided. That a lot of people look at it. Well, majority of what we experience in the community lately, a lot of people are coming there looking for something that turns over within the next 24 hours or 6 hours. And you guys talked about the growth behind where it was and where you are now. It was implemented what in 2008 around that time is when, but 2009 is when the whole decentralized Bitcoin came about. So
hmm
it's funny that a lot of people don't choose to take that simplicity of where these other projects came from. Yes, other new project has been blown up overnight, but that's not realistic. The sustainability is not there. It's impossible. and I appreciate that. I want to move on to a really nice topic because a lot of people are oblivious to it when it comes to AI or artificial intelligence. And some would say that we are already we're already cyborgs because our mental health and remembering things is not there because we choose to be dependent on our devices. So I want to know what your guys' opinion on artificial intelligence now, and where do you think it will go? Is it a positive thought, or is it a we should monitor it, or could it go into a big disaster?
It it depends on different stages, and it depends on how intelligent AI is or will be. Um, One major thing at the beginning or in the early stages are the companies
Mm,
behind the AI, because they can choose and also how is this word in English? They can control how the AI is getting into our brains,
mm,
and how we will how the society will change because of it. Like you said already, people are already stupid like hell mostly, because you ask them something, they go to Google, they ask Google my question, then they answering me, and then they forget again what they have Googled. They don't even remember the stuff they just Googled because they don't care. They know if the next one is asking, I just can Google again. So it's a stupid example, but it's like it is. The people
mhm, mhm.
really don't, and that's a big difference to me. Uh, Nobody knows everything, that's for sure. But if I learn something, I want to keep it in my brain because
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't take my mobile phone all the time with me. Yes, I can, but I don't. And if people are asking me something, I just wanna answer them on a personal, uh, yeah, personal mind and know with the exact answer I did get from Google or whatever. And also, I want to learn stuff. I want to be, yeah, I want to be intelligent. Sorry that I want to be intelligent.
yeah, yeah. I feel you.
So
I feel you.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and I know, but I also did already experiment with AI scripts and stuff because I wanted just to see what I can do with all this stuff, and it's really it's scary. It's still not there where it
Yeah,
can be, but you can make so much scary things with AI
yeah.
if you tried it enough. Um, then it's really crazy, and I, I'm excited for the times where AI is um, learning from itself, and
Hmm.
it has its own mind, to say it like this. Then it goes crazy, definitely. And I don't know where this will go, but I'm quite sure there won't be any cars driving from humans anymore. No, any other machines will be driven by humans. It will everything done by an AI for sure. So all the technique we have, everything will be controlled by AI for sure in some years.
Mhm.
Thanks, Hydra. Juice, what is your thought process on AI?
No, I would say that I agree with Hydra on a lot of it. I think again, just like with anything in life, there's ups and downs, pros and cons, right? There are a lot of pros for AI. One
Hmm.
being helping the development of many things. Could be you could apply it to the healthcare system. In the medical field, you can apply it to just technology in general, like the IT field. You can apply AI where in warehouses where the machines help carry massive amounts of heavy loads instead of actual people having to move stuff. They can move it. You can have it programmed. A lot of that could be very beneficial, but again, there can also be cons with it as well, right? Because again, it is all programmed, and as Hydra knows, being a programmer, there can be errors in lines of codes. And if
Hmm.
you have self-driving cars, self-driving planes, I mean, planes pretty much fly themselves now. It's pretty much
Hmm.
all AI. But you take that a step further where there is no human interaction, If there's a line of code that has an error, it could be very detrimental, right? You can see
Yep.
probably deaths happen, even more than that. So, again, with AI, there's pluses and minuses. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's going to be very beneficial to see how the future goes. Um, but again, when you apply it, you take a step, set that aside, and you look at, like you were saying, it dumbing down people, and like Hydra said,
Mm-hmm.
it really is, because if you think about it, our phones are a point of central intelligence, right? We have AI on our phone, Siri, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have or these, without these devices, people are lost because we are so dependent on these devices, where if I don't know something, I have to Google it. Like Hydra said, they Google it, they don't remember what they Googled, but they Googled it, they told you the answer, but then they completely forget about it. It's the same thing with, if you're texting someone or you're watching TikTok, and then you try to talk to someone while they're doing that, they're completely oblivious to what you're saying, right? And then
Yeah.
they'll, you know, or they'll half listen to you, and they'll say something like, yeah, okay, yeah, but then they won't remember exactly what you said because they're so dependent on and focused on what they're doing on their phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, over time, I think it is making us dumber in that sense because we're so heavily dependent on that. But again, there are also pluses, because without the internet, without that stuff, being able to, instead of having to, if I don't know what a word means, having to go to a bookshelf and get a dictionary and skim through it, I can just type in Google, boom, I find out what the definition is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, pluses and minuses.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just like humans in general, we learn to adapt. um, it's something going to be new, and as it advances, we need to advance with it. But again, we're going to be always behind because we have to
Mm-hmm.
learn to adapt. We're not programmed as easy as typing up a code and boom, that's what it's meant to do, right? So I do see pluses and I do see minuses. I am excited personally for it, and I think we can definitely see a really good future with AI. It just depends on what it's going to be used for.
Yeah. Do you guys think that it should be monitored as it progresses?
What do you mean by monitored? Like,
For example, we take a look at, like Terminator and um, you know where I'm
oh,
going with this. Like,
always go by.
where does AI say like humans is the fault of the earth and time to get rid of us and wipe us out? Do you think it needs to be monitored in the aspect where it's telling, uh, it's identifying humans to be an issue at some point?
Um, so I think it really comes down to, again, Hydra could speak probably more in depth with this because he's a programmer. Um, I think it comes down to how developed and programmed they are meant to be. Um, Now, if there's ways in the code where it's set up to prevent that type of stuff, um, he's totally talking about it. I didn't want to point fingers. Yeah. But yeah, perfect example right there. Yeah, so I think if they program it a certain way and they put it in the coding, and they, because you can't, I mean, Hydra can definitely speak better on this than I can, but I'm pretty sure that you can put it in coding that you can have it set up to have limitations on how much they can learn. Um, Now, I think the Terminator movies kind of took it a little bit too far. Again, that's just like human imagination, where we can come up with zombies and come up with all this type of stuff. And now, what if it happens? What if this, zombie outbreak can happen? Who's to say it
Mhm.
won't? But again, that could be the same thing with Terminator. Who's to say it will and who's to say it won't? It just depends on the intent of what someone's programming that AI for, right? If they're trying
Mm.
to set up a cyborg to purposely adapt and wipe out human race and kill people, I'm sure they could probably do that. But if they set up the coding right to prevent that ability to learn, I'm sure you could probably do that. But again, Hydra could probably speak better on that than I can.
Yeah, yeah. I'm quite sure the developers should make like a control function that the AI won't be able to get at least a complete own mind. It would be possible for sure. So uh,
Mm,
give it access to the internet, and you have the chaos. Definitely, but we saw it on the Facebook disaster with them two AIs they had talking to each other, and boom, they had their own language within hours, I think, was,
mhm.
and they had to take it off from the internet because they didn't know anymore what the AI is doing. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
So definitely, the developers have to take care about what AI can learn, will learn, and has to learn, and to control it. But as Jules mentioned before, also there can be error in the code, a loophole, whatever, and the AI is just taking over the control. So I'm quite sure uh, your vacuum cleaner is not trying to kill you, but if we have robots or whatever later on in the military, yeah, who knows what's going on.
Mhm.
I appreciate that. I want to move on to our next topic, referring to cybersecurity. This is, your field, Juice.
Okay.
So I want you to, how do you think cybersecurity has progressed? I mean, I'm not no expert. I'm only with passwords that has at least a number and a letter in it. So how do you think cybersecurity progressed since 2000 in the 2000s to now?
Oh, from 2000s till now? Oh,
Yeah.
it's significantly have grown. It's grown significantly, I should say. Yeah. Um Now, as you guys know, on the team here, I am going to talk about our team just briefly. David as well is an IT security manager.
Hmm.
I actually used to work for him, so we were on the same team. So he definitely can speak a lot more into this too, because he actually still currently does that. But when it comes to security from the 2000s till now, it's grown tremendously, um, because it's had to, right, with the hacking, has the way the coding is set up, the way hacking is now. Um, it's advanced. As technology advances, the hacking methods advance. I mean, you have to keep developing security to compensate against the black hat hackers, right? So, um, from back then, there was, again, there was hacking and stuff like that, but it's so evolved now that we have like ransomware. We have crazy sophisticated cyber attacks that attack power grids and so much more now. um they've had to advance with that, right?
Hmm.
So now the back in the day used to be 8 characters for your password. Now to have a decent secured password, depending on the user, 36 characters long. It should,
Yes.
that's a lot of people probably be like, oh, that's too much. Well, you got to think about if you have your bank account set up or something like that, and you're using a very weak password, I'm pretty sure someone could get that, and there you go. So when you think about security, I'm not going to try to ramble too much, but when you think about security, you
Hmm.
can't just think about the internet, because there's other security breaches out there that are like social engineering, and there's other ones like skimmers. A lot of people probably don't know what skimmers are, but skimmers are used on ATM machines. They're used at hotels. They can be used at restaurants, where a skimmer is basically a device that mimics a keypad, and where you scan your card, swipe your card, insert
Hmm.
your card. You basically put it over the keypad so it's flush, right? You type in, let's say you're on an ATM machine, you'll type in your password for your debit card or credit card. It remembers your credentials that you typed in. And when you insert your card, it scans your card. So when you pull it out, it's got your card information. So all the attacker has to do is come by, pull the skimmer off, go home, connect it to his device, and pull your information off of it. Boom, he's got your credit card number and everything like that. Then he can make cards if he wants to, and just use your bank account. So there's not just online security. There's those type of attacks too as well, and they can,
Hmm.
there's so much out there, and it's advanced. Like, those things have advanced. They weren't back then. They didn't have them, but they've developed them. So you have to develop other things to counteract that, right?
Mhm,
So since
mhm.
the 2000s, it's advanced both the bad side and the good side. They've both advanced significantly.
I really, I experienced. You kind of took me back with that one with the skimmer because when I was an ATM technician with a bank, like she's probably like 15 years ago, I
Hmm.
experienced that like in front of me happening. I went out to service the ATM. You know, the card, it felt the card reader felt a little bit stuck, and I was like, something doesn't seem right. So I went over to my boss, and little do I know, someone's put that skimmer right onto the ATM. It had
Hmm.
several people driving across. It was a drive-through, so everyone was just like,
Yep.
no business, typing in everything.
Yep.
And I don't think they caught the guy, but they did remove the device. But he didn't show
Yep.
back up. But it is crazy that you mentioned that because people forget how simple these hacks and I guess theft of your credit card or identity is easy
Hmm.
to happen. So that's
Well,
good.
yeah. I mean, it's with the same thing. So a couple years ago, when they started developing the chips for credit cards, there was a way to still be able to make those chips by stealing your information, and then boom, they can go ahead and make another chip, put it on another
Mhm.
card and use it just like yours. They had devices where if you had your card, because again, it's a magnetic strip, so if they have devices where if they get close enough or brush up against you, where your wallet is or whatever, it pulls your data and information from that card.
Mhm.
So they have devices like that out there too. They have devices out there where they'll connect to your Bluetooth system and they can steal data that way. I mean, it's, I'm not going to get into how in depth crazy it is, but just
It's just a
know
long list.
they can steal
Oh
data
man.
by the frequency of your PC fan.
Yeah, I read
Wow.
about that.
Just let you know how crazy that sounds.
Yeah,
The frequency of your fan spinning in your
Wow.
PC, they can steal data from your computer.
yeah, that's so
So,
crazy.
yeah,
That is
it's pretty
nuts.
advanced stuff, man.
Um, I just want to show they'll pop up here. First, I think this one was even for Hydra and AI. Somebody wants to make a couple of clones of you, so I was letting you know. So Hydra, on security, and this is referring deep coding. How serious it is that you have to be, or how careful and detailed you have to be to get this right. Obviously, in the crypto space right now, a lot of projects have been getting hacked through a lot of cookie cutter things, in my opinion. But on level of ground up developer, how serious do you take coding in security?
Um, I how do I? So first of all, everyone has to know the blockchain coding is still new, and especially a lot of new coders uh, getting into this blockchain coding. So that's why there are so much loopholes or exploits or whatever possible because they don't even know what they're coding to. So yes, they know coding, yes, they do whatever, but they it's still so new that even an experienced coder in the blockchain can't know everything, and that's why
Mhm,
there are so much hacks and exploits and whatever. That's why you always have to use, uh, let's say, verified code from sources where you know it's uh, it's proven already. There is, for example, Open Zeppelin for the blockchain developers, where most of the code, which was would even perhaps all of the code, is safe, is standard. Uh, you can use
mhm,
it without any problem. That the code is proven over many years, and there is no problem with it. They also have, of course, new code for developers, but there you should, of course, be. You should check it out because it's new. Still, there can be errors or whatever in the code. So that's one of the things. For me personally,
mhm,
uh, coding, um, I'm as myself. I know which exploits there are, or at least I know where I can check what is going on, and can make my code safe enough to not get hit by the stuff. I really take it serious. Uh, I I'm also controlling a lot. That's why something I don't launch stuff or I don't give stuff out if I don't
Mm-hmm.
know I'm okay with it. So I'm really debugging and testing a lot. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hacking myself to find out what is possible. Is it safe against the normal people? Because uh, yeah, the crypto space itself has a lot of talented people. They know how to hack. They know how to code very good and stuff. That's a place where you really have to be uh, serious about what you are doing and what you're launching, because uh, just has to be one of this person doesn't like you, whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
will he will go and
Oh, lost him.
You just lost it there again, Hydra.
Yeah, give him a second here.
Yeah. Still can't hear you, Hydra. Just in case if you're still talking.
so I'm back.
Yep.
No problem.
So yeah, and for example, if you make I say a normal website with some stuff, and so uh, you can go with the standards. You can check out uh, how something has to be secure, and that's enough. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Uh, there is nobody wants to hack a website of a doctor just to send emails out or whatever. It's really small chance. But on the blockchain, the people want your money and they see, oh, you are a Bitcoin, you have a lot in staking, whatever. I can steal a lot. Then they are behind it, and not
Mm-hmm.
only the small people, also governments like North Korea or whatever. They want to steal your fucking money, uh, they go for it.
Mm-hmm.
These are good, really good hackers and teams where you have to be afraid of. That has to be just something you have in your head right while you're coding, not after, because you can't change your code anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's live on blockchain, it's live and then it's done. And you see the last hacks, there are some really big hacks, and nobody can do anything. So you have to think about it before you do it. So you can make it as secure as possible, but you never can be 100% secure. That's not possible.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, and I was going to ask the question, but you already said it that you test hack it yourself, and I think that's a lot. That shows a lot of dedication behind of you want to make sure it's secure proof. So therefore, you go intentionally trying to hack the code, which I know a lot of developers don't even do. They don't even reach out to third parties to even say, hey, let's test out, see what loopholes we have. It should be a part of the growth of security in any crypto project, which is funny that it's not a thing that's being done. But I appreciate that you said that. So everyone could hear that this is the seriousness behind blockchain and cybersecurity, and what a great team you guys have to protect and always looking past the point of the now, looking past the point to tomorrow. Um, I'm trying to remember what next question is. Uh, 1 second here. First, I appreciate each everyone who was in here. I think we had about 9 people earlier. Um, we could, if you guys have any questions, don't try not to make it specific to the Cashverse. This is, get to know the minds of the developers behind the Cashverse guys. So if it's about Cashmon and anything specific, this is not the stream or podcast for that. But we would appreciate you ask that in the community chat. But if you have specific questions on how you want to know how these guys think, please go right ahead and drop it into the chat here, and I will bring it up and they will respond accordingly. So, Hydra, there's one thing about the hacking. When you test it, do you ever seek out a third party, a trusted third party individual, to do these hacks as well from their perspective?
No. Um, because I'm on a level where I know what to test and what to do, and I don't think a third agency would do something else. I know the right tools, I know the right scripts. I uh, used that stuff for many years,
Mhm.
and I think if I would talk to, if I would know, if I would. If I want to have someone testing it out, which I already asked for, would be David. Uh,
Mhm.
as he does exactly the same. So I know I can trust him. He can do whatever he wants to. I know he doesn't destroy anything or whatever. So yeah,
Mhm.
but even him is using the same tools than me. So yeah.
That's nice. What do you guys think about? Oh, wait, wait. Before I ask my question, I think we have a question here. Um, put up a question here from Ryan Peer. Where do you guys see yourselves within the next 10 years, Hydra?
It's a good question. Um, for me, it will be still coding somewhere, perhaps from an island. I don't know, but I still will code. I still will do projects. I'm a nerd. I'm a workaholic, and I won't change. I will work till my death. It is like it is. I am just a coder. I love it. I
Mhm.
will make projects. Uh, I will make the Cashverse big. Definitely, it's my baby, and I love it. But yeah,
Mhm.
I will still coding.
What about yourself, Juice?
Um, well, I can't say I'll be coding from an island, but hopefully I'll be somewhere down south, but still working with this great project and seeing the growth of our community and just seeing the project grow and become, you know, bigger and bigger on the, you know, Binance blockchain, you know, and just expanding more out there. And who knows, you know, with the game that we're developing, who knows, maybe we can turn that into something really cool after, you know,
Mhm.
expand from the NFT side. And you know, who knows, maybe we'll start intertwining that um, into another game. You know, maybe bringing that to handhelds and stuff. You know, who knows? You know, 10 years is a long time, right? You know, so
Yeah, it
you know
is.
we could sit here and say that we hope all this stuff happens and it could completely change and be something even better, right? So hopefully not worse, but we never know.
Correct.
But we can only hope that within the 10 years that we continue to grow, and we become better than what we are right now.
Nice. Thanks, Ryan, for asking that question. It's a really good question. Um, I want to know your thought process on identity theft because I know security is one thing, but identity theft, people seems to make it so easy for everyone by through social media, by putting anything and everything up there. How do you think majority of them happen? Do you think they happen based off of selecting links or just again simply putting your information out there?
Um, Well, I could tell you that identity theft back in the day, it used to be because people would siphon through trash cans and steal people's important documents that way that had, you know,
Well,
their date of birth, their name, sometimes their social security still on it, like medical records and stuff. And they would find them in the trash, and then there you go, steal your identity that way. It was very easy. Um, I mean, it makes it easy now for people to steal identities because yeah, again,
hmm
everything is on the internet. I mean, look how many accounts on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all of these, even Telegram, for God's sake. We experience it here where people are
hmm
pretending to be us.
yeah,
I mean, they may not have our photos, they may not know have our name, but they're using our Telegram name with the picture that we have there,
hmm
of course, butchering the Telegram name, the tag, but they're pretending that they're us and reaching out to the community to try to scam them.
yeah,
So, you know, they may not, excuse me, they may not have our social security, they may not have our date of birth, they may not have our, you know, any kind of information like that. But again, they're using just a few things to manipulate people and they'll scam them and con them and to pretend that they're us, and people fall for it.
Yep,
But
that's true.
the reason why people fall for it is because they're not educated enough to look into certain things. My thing is, if someone pretends they're someone, look at the Telegram handle. Mine's juiced. It's spelt a certain way. Hydra is spelt a certain way. Look at that. Mine is how it is. If there's someone
Hmm.
pretending to be me, are they using a different spelling? If they are, well, it's not mine, right? If they're
Hmm.
using an older photo of mine, like some of them have, they've used older photos of Hydra, well, that's not the most recent one. So that is more than likely a scammer, right? So, you got to do a little bit of digging yourself before you just give in because, again, as developers, Hydra and myself and the whole team, we're never going to reach out to people first. So that's a red flag. If you already think that we're reaching out to you, that's a red flag. That's not us, right? So, it's just simple things as that, stealing an identity because it's out there on the internet, or going to, Facebook and just trying to, do phishing attempts through email, try to acquire information that way, which is a lot of times how a lot of hackers and attackers actually get information is through phishing emails. Or having you click a link, go to a link, and cred harvesting is what's called credential harvesting, where they send you to a bogus link. You type in your password, your email, whatever. Let's say for your banking, you type that information in. Well, now they got that,
Hmm.
and then they can snowball from there. So, um, yeah, it makes it easier now with everything being on the internet. Yeah, 100%.
What do you think about that, Hydra?
Yeah. I just think people should use their brain, then it wouldn't be happen. It would be easy.
I mean,
I mean, if I would be a serial killer, I just go to Facebook, throw a arrow to any here I am, and go straight to the person and make whatever I want to. I don't
mhm,
know. If I don't want to be scammed, if I don't want to be killed, and whatever, I just don't give out where I are, who I am, how my kids look like.
yep,
Yeah, you don't do that. Just don't do that. I don't know. Don't cry after. Just don't do that.
yep.
I agree. I agree, and I love how uncut and dry you just have. You just put it out there. Like, some people need that uncut, dry stuff because it's life. This is real life, guys. You can't mess around when it comes to your own personal hard-earned money. You guys need to consider that when you do things. Try to think. It doesn't hurt just for you to go and educate yourself because a lot of people just want to be spoon fed when they come into the new space of crypto, and that can't happen, man. That cannot happen. That is the worst decision you can make, thinking you can just walk in here and boom, someone's going to give me all the information I want. Because I can give you the wrong information just because. Um, so I got some a question. I was trying to find some info. I better leave that for our next topic. I have this, and I won't tell you. I won't tell you because I'll
Okay.
spoil it. So, have you watched Wardnard before? One of his interviews.
Who?
Have you ever heard of Wardnard? Warnard? No, ever.
Mm, no,
All right.
not that I know of.
He has this unique ability to find information, but it's out there. But he goes deep. He goes like back in the 1990s and find these info and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And it brings up a memory for a certain individual.
Okay.
I don't know how he does it, but he's brilliant. So I've been practicing it. So I won't use it now. I'll try it another time.
Okay.
It's just like whoa.
Yeah.
So, what would you rather? Would you rather cook or eat out?
Well, I don't do the cooking at the house. Mary does the cooking. So, um, I would prefer home cooked meals because she really does a good job cooking. But if it was to go eat out, and if I had the opportunity to have like an all paid expense card for a limited amount of sushi, a limited amount of times a day, I'm sorry, hun, but I would choose the sushi because I love sushi. I will eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 24/7.
his his marketing levels are high.
Yeah, hey, that's okay.
Oh man, what about yourself, Hydra? Eat out or cook?
There was a time in my life where I ordered daily basis my food. So I don't go much out, so I would cook at home, but I rather would order food.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Are you an introvert or extrovert? How do you see yourself?
Whew, that's a tough question. I was very introvert some
Mm,
some years ago, and I still am a bit. Um, but there is always the side of me. It was in the school, it was everywhere. That I'm the clown in the room. I have to make my jokes. I have to make. Uh, I want people to laugh because of me and stuff. So that's why um, I'm always doing my jokes. But in reality, I think I'm still introvert, and I like it is. I don't need all this exposure from people in front of me or them touching me, whatever. I don't like that. Humans are not ready for me.
don't touch me.
Touching me. I mean, that's a lot of people touching them.
Oh my goodness. What about yourself, Juice? Because I
Um,
know Juice, yeah, you're in the your majority the I guess in a sense. A lot of people will see you first and hear you first for the project. But on a I guess separating yourself from the cast first, are you naturally an extrovert or are you an introvert?
so I'll kind of give you a little bit of history on this.
Mm,
Growing up, I was a big time introvert. And the reason why I was an introvert is because I hung out with only like two or three people, if that,
mm,
very close friends. I used to get picked on in school. I'm not going to say the things I used to get called
mm,
because political, but I
mm,
used to get called things back in the day, just natural bullying. Until I hit high school, and then I hit high school, and I got this mentality to think, you know, become better of myself
mm,
and not give a shit what people thought about me. And that's what I developed into today. And so I would say that snowballed into I'm an extrovert now. But there are times that I can be an introvert and I just want to stay at home. I don't want to be around people. I kind of want to just focus on doing my job and work and not be bothered by anybody. But
mm,
I would say the majority of it, yes, I'm an extrovert. I definitely talk to everyone and anybody. There are people that I don't know their names, but they know me somehow, and they'll say hi to me, and Mary will be like, like she gets annoyed because there's so many people that I apparently have talked to, and I have no idea who they are, and they know me, and so well, I'll get to talking to them, still not know their name or who they are, but we'll talk like we know each other, and Mary gets frustrated about it because it's almost everywhere we go.
mm,
So yeah, I am an extrovert now, but yes, there are times I'm still an introvert. And back growing up, I was a big time introvert. So
mm. I like to what you mentioned in reference that you don't care what anyone thinks about you, but because some people might call that to be ignorant or call that to be I guess cocky or self-centered, and I disagree on their thought process because why is it? Because I'm in the same place in my life as well. Where why is it though I have to care what you think of me when as simple as it is that you don't pay my bills, you don't take home my stress, you don't resolve none of my problems. So now I have to take on your opinions as well. That's crazy in my view. So I agree with that. I don't. You should not care what someone else thinks. I mean, this is what where comes where this whole everybody wants to be accepted, no matter what gender or pronoun they want to be.
Yeah,
Um, described as. This is a simple thing. If you're not in that class or that category, it doesn't mean that you have to show that okay, your opinion matters to me. It really doesn't,
yeah.
and I
No, I
appreciate
um, no, I agree with you on that. And it's not that I'm being cocky or anything.
that.
I because growing up I did care what people thought, right? I am
Mm-hmm.
very self-conscious about myself. I'm not going to get into that on here, but we can
Mm-hmm.
definitely I'm an open book. I will talk literally about anything. I don't hide anything. So, but I won't get into much detail in this interview, but let's just say, it's not because I'm cocky. It's not because I'm being arrogant or, trying to be a douchebag or anything like that. It's literally because of my bad history, my past. I just don't care anymore. And that's what helped
Mm-hmm.
me become the person I am today. It's not because I'm like, sure, I love going to the gym, but I don't go to the gym to be a show off. I go to the gym to better myself, to make myself feel mentally better about myself and to
Mm-hmm.
feel physically better. That's what it was. And that's what it's always been. So, I don't have an ego. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. Um, I just don't give a shit about what people think about me because if I do, you start to dwell on that. You start to let it bring you down
Mm-hmm.
mentally as a person to the point where it literally will break a person down and they develop depression. They start worrying about that. And then you get these people that don't want to do anything because they care so much about what others think about themselves. And you really
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't. It's not because you're being
Mm-hmm.
cocky or anything. It's just you shouldn't give a shit what other people think. Like you said, they don't pay my bills. You know, Billy down the street doesn't pay my bills. I don't give a shit if he thinks I'm, some show off in my new car or not. I don't care. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't pay my
Mm-hmm.
bills. He doesn't pay my food on the table. I don't care what he
I
thinks about.
agree. I think this is something that I wouldn't say struggle with, but found a new avenue to work around. And it is when something unsavory happens with someone else. But I can. It's probably like 3 weeks ago. I had a close family member of a friend of mine. Um, I went there with straight good intent because I had to sit down and reflect about it. I was insulted. My intelligence was insulted as well, even though I made a clear disclaimer of my intentions, why I'm asking these questions. And I had to go back and think about, did I came off with the intention to insult this person? Am I really this type of person that they said I am? And quite frankly, I had disagree. I disagree 100% because I went there with full intentions to gather information to understand the situation so I can plan properly for the future.
Yeah.
And I took that premise to do that with any other disagreement I come into. Like, do I go out there with intentions to insult someone, get someone angry? No, because I don't want nobody coming cramping and shitting on my day.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
don't do it. Why should I do it to somebody else? So with every conversation, I'm always cognizant of what I say and how I say it and how it could be interpreted. And if it's interpreted wrong, then I always provide clarity. So that's my approach on life aspect of don't caring what everybody says. I don't go out there to piss anyone off. So why should I care?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if you experienced anything like that, Hydra, on your end.
About the same topic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, for me, I have one golden rule. I give a shit about what you do and what you think, because it's your life and I live my life. And as long as you don't try to tell me what I have to do, I leave you alone, and I expect the same from you. It's for me really really simple, because you only live once on this earth, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's your life, and you have to live it. No
Mm-hmm.
government has to give you rules. No person has to give you rules. Just live it, as long as you don't kill someone or whatever. Just live
Mm-hmm.
it. So that's all. And if a person tries to tell me what to do, I just turn around and say, "Yeah, leave me alone."
Yep.
I feel that. Respect it. I'm not sure anyone has any questions or any other questions. I think we're going on about an hour now. I think it's one of the longest streams I've made. So If no one else have any questions, I'll give it about maybe like 2 minutes or so. Then we'll just cut the stream from here. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions for me or any things you want to discuss at this point. Any shout outs you want to give? Go right ahead. This is an open floor. So us just being open, talking about whatever that comes up.
I want to give a shout out to Choose. Oh yeah, Choose.
Well, I appreciate it, Hydra. Thank you. I'll give you a shout out. Hydra, again, he's been one hell of a coder, a developer for the project, and just a very, very, very great boss. He cares about the team. He cares about the project. He cares about the community. You're not going to see that from any other dev. They'll say it, but other than saying it, you don't see it. He
Mhm.
shows it with all the hard work he's putting in on the back end, with coming up and developing what he's developing for the project. He's all while he's doing that, he's engaging in the chat.
Yeah.
He's always talking to us on the team, the mods. It's just he's a wonderful man. Like, he's a great person, and I'm so grateful that, again, he gave me this opportunity to be a part of the project. I also want to give a shout out to the rest of the team. They haven't been in the chat as much because they've been busy, with work and everything too. They also do have 9 to 5 jobs and such, but they still been killing it with what they're doing. David monitoring the Reddit page because I sure as hell couldn't do it. Jay, keeping up with all of our social media and everything like that. And then also Brian and Derek, maintaining the real life marketing and things of that nature. So they're still doing a really, really good job with all of that hard work. And again, with our mods, and I appreciate the guys, you guys that are all in the chat right now, answering the questions and such, because it really helps Hydra, mainly because he is the one that's doing all the coding. um, you know, Helping him out is going to help the project continuously move along smoothly. So again, thank you guys for helping answering the questions for the community and things like that. So again, very grateful for you guys.
You are so sweet.
Oh my goodness gracious, you guys are a trip, man. I hope
Just
Very,
you
kissing some ass, Hydra. Just kissing some ass.
very, very. I gotta steal your boyfriend now.
Oh
Man,
man.
she'll tell you have me. She'll be grateful to get rid of me.
She's saying that now. Give her a few days. Give me your hand in the back.
I don't know. She might just tell him to keep me permanently.
He's your problem now.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-mm. Oh man. Well, I appreciate you guys again coming on the interview today. It wasn't a typical Cashverse, but I like these types of conversations because it helps bring awareness. Wait, oh snap! Someone answered. Hold up, what's that?
Told you.
So juice will be over by midnight.
Yeah.
So look out for that package, Hydra.
Okay, I've gotta clean the house.
Oh man. But yes, thank you. I appreciate you guys. It was a really nice podcast and live stream. Way better than I expected. I hope you guys gain a new, different experience, and I hope I was one of the first to give you that all different types of thought processes that no one ever gave you from a YouTuber before. Because I love when people talk about a project, but I love when people talk about the experience because it gives you this nice full circle and connection of who these people are, and I guess in the sense of this word of if you're qualified for their things, it fills those gaps for people. And I appreciate everyone who has joined here. I think we had about top of about 9 people in here and study of 7 to 6. I appreciate you guys watching, all the mods, each every one of you. The ones who check up on me personally, the one I check up on too, message all of you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate you guys having me a part of the partnership as well.
Hmm.
But I hope we could have more of these conversations, just to open up different topics of things of the crypto space, get people thinking, get people to use their mind for themselves, and stop being dependent on all these devices.
Hopefully.
So no further ado, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you're here new, please hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Does my bell work today? Hold on. Yes, it does. There it is. Hit that notification bell, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.